Live from San Diego, this is KUSI News.
All right, well, what does renting in San Diego look like for 2026? Here to tell us all about it is California real estate broker Mark Powell. Mark, good morning. Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Allie. How are you?
Great. So explain to me about what we are seeing as far as rent goes in 2026.
So surprisingly, rents are coming down. Not much, but they're coming down because they've built a lot more apartments and people are able to get concessions now. So what I want to discuss with the audience here is how can you get a concession and why did rents go up so high? So most likely the reason is in 2020 they passed something called the Renters Protection Act, which is actually rent control, limited rents to 5% plus 5% of the cost of living. So landlords said, well, we have this cap now, we don't have the ability to adjust it. Let's just raise it to 5 or 10%. So in 2021, rents went up 10%. And that's how much rents typically went up in 4 years. So now we have these really high rents, but they're coming down a bit. So one way to negotiate your rent is if you're gonna sign a lease, instead of saying, hey, I want a reduction in rent, ask for 1 month free. Because 1 month free, if you divide it over that term, is like a reduction in rent. Other things to do is have really good credit scores, because they can look at credit scores. So if you have a good credit score, you have a clean application, you show yourself, you present yourself as a good renter, you can ask for the rent, and then you can also ask for a little bit of a reduction based upon what your salary is. You know, the cost of living is increased. You just had some things, water going up, electricity going up, cable going up. And like we discussed, you know, even for landlords, they have expenses going up. Like some of these apartment complexes, they're in high fire zones. They can't get insurance. And then when they do, it skyrockets. So the HOA goes up $100, $200, $300 a month. So the rents are gonna go up. You just have to be realistic when you ask for it. And then most of the homes that are for rent are owned by mom and pop people. Like they own 5 or less, they have a condo or house. So oftentimes you're negotiating right with a landlord, or you might have to negotiate with a property management company. That would require you to email. Sometimes you know your landlord, you can actually call him on the phone or call her on the phone and say, this is really what I need to do, and these are the reasons why. So you can negotiate your rent. It's just not something that's etched.
Right, not typical that people are negotiating the rent, but as you said, I mean, you're looking at it's always going to go up. A lot of times to start the new year, you're going to see that price increase.
So if you can negotiate it not to go up, you've done well. And oftentimes negotiation is something that not everybody is skilled at. Sometimes people, they don't like this face-to-face contact, especially today when everybody's just texting and they don't want to talk on the telephone. So if you can delineate the reasons why you think you should have your rent reduced, that's a good way to do it. You can send it to your property management company, and then they have to ask the landlord or the property owner if they'll reduce the rent.
Okay, so some good tips for people, but obviously, I mean, we got a lot of people who are renting here in San Diego, and we know that those prices are going to remain high, but like you said, maybe a little bit lower? About
50% of the people in San Diego County rent, so that's 1.7 million people. That's a lot of renters. And don't be worried about negotiating. I know oftentimes people are just like, oh, they raised my rent, we're just going to have to pay it. No, you don't have to pay it. You can talk to them, and if you can explain in a rational way and be realistic, don't say knock my rent down $1,000 a month. It's not going to happen. You have to be realistic. Talk about the current vacancy rate, because we're seeing a higher vacancy rate than we've seen in years. And if you're a good renter and you're paying on time, like I said, if you're having an automatic deduction from your bank account so your rent's always on time, you're a good renter. They would rather have you in there than go vacant for 2 months, because if they do that, they've lost most of their profit for the year.
All right, Mark Powell, thank you for coming in. Hope you have a wonderful holiday with your family.
Thank you.
All right.